Karibuni sana kwa
Naitwa, if you ask me who I am, I'm a broadcaster. I'm in love with the science of radio. I love radio to every core of every bone of my body. I love radio, the science of radio. I love how radio has evolved. I love where radio is going in the future. I love radio, full stop. Because I told you guys, I'm giving you guys a super exclusive. Yeah. I do my last show at Homeboys on the 28th of June, which is in like about 3 weeks time.
Yeah.
I won't go too much into it, but I've been doing radio, Homeboys Radio, for 6,066 days. Okay. That organization did not get off the ground. You know why?
Why?
Because DJs hate each other.
That's a fact.
They smile, but they hate each other.
They do.
And you know what? I'm sorry to burst your bubble. Creatives hate each other as well. And then, hi, babes. I hate. Okay.
You said hi, babes.
Anything you do, you can stop doing. It's like that. If you go to university and you find yourself doing a course that's not you, stop. Your parents might not agree with that advice or whatever, but stop. Find what you want to do. Take time to find yourself, because within this story of life, you know what you want to do. You know where you want to be. You know who you want to be. Fam, in this journey of life, you're going to have so many people telling you what you can't do. But the only person who should not tell you what you can't do is you. Secret lovers, that's what we are. Trying so hard. Yo, this song, it says, you know, there was no mobile phones in those days. There's a line where the song says, staying at home, I do nothing all day, but think about you, I hope you're okay. Waiting you'll call, hoping you'll call before anyone gets home. I wait patiently by the phone. I was like, wow. No, because you know, when I was young, there was no cell phones.
Yeah.
It was landlines. And you just used to hope
and wait
patiently by the phone. So I'm like, yo, cheating used to be so, but it was easier to cheat because in those days, that phone call is just between you. There's no wild star. There's no guys taking pictures. I saw John Tay in this place with this chick. There's none of that.
I feel like cheating right now is even easier 10 times.
I cheat. No. It's easier to find people to cheat with now.
Yes.
But cheating itself, let me tell you. Oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't say this. But there's a situation that I found myself in recently where I was talking to somebody and I'm just like, I hope nobody sees us because they're going to... No, I wasn't cheating. You can't cheat when you're single. But I wasn't cheating. I just knew that if I was seen with this person, then next thing, husband wants to beat me up and all of these things.
Okay, makes sense.
And I was around all of these guys, but they didn't see.
who?
You wasn't there. Was you there?
I saw.
You saw?
I saw.
Oh, okay. Pengo.
I saw. You see.
Hey. But married.
Oops.
Right. Have you started?
Sadly.
Hey, we started.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Banter special episode
Sanduku.
11.
You gotta keep the energy of Sanduku.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do it.
Hi guys, habari zenu?
Mzuri.
Karibuni sana kwa
Naitwa,
He's been waiting to say that.
Karibuni sana kwa
Since the sun
welcome to the Banter Box special Sanduku la Ucheshi episode 11. My name is Wasandra.
Kwa majina naitwa Natasha.
And my name is John Tay.
Naitwa Money. That's all the Swahili you're getting today.
Okay. Today's episode mwenye pesa, tuko na mwenye pesa. Man himself, mwenye pesa.
It's the money shot. Pause.
Mwenye pesa. Introduce basi.
My name is Money. I am a podcaster, a broadcaster. I'd like to consider myself just somebody pursuing their own dreams in their own times, in their own space. I don't really like to say I'm this and I'm that. Me, I'm just trying to work out like everybody else, but to make it as palatable for myself as I can. You know?
Word.
Wow.
Naitwa Jimani.
Na hizo majina zingine?
Is Jimani your name?
No, my name is Conrad Anthony Gray. Wow. Sounds very distinctive. True story. When I first came to Kenya, people were so disappointed that I wasn't white. Conrad Anthony Gray.
Yeah.
He must be a Muzungu with that name.
Yeah.
Only for...
He really wasn't. He was just a guy from the hood in London who just bet on himself, and here we are.
Karibu Kenya.
I've been here for a long time.
How long?
Actually, niko na swali. So you nasikiza Kiswahili sio?
Kidogo.
Okay. I saw a video on TikTok saying how white people, they don't shower using washcloths. Is that true?
Well, I've never showered with a white person, but judging by how some of them smell, I don't think it's too far. You know, white people in Europe have a very different approach to hygiene than us. You know, so I mean, from a Caribbean perspective, it's like, you know, I was born in London, so by the time I got to the Caribbean to go to school and stuff, you know, it's so hot. You have to shower at least 2, sometimes 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'd shower before you go to school. Sometimes you'd shower as soon as you came back from school, because we went to day school. We're not really into that boarding school thing. And then you have to shower before you go to your bed because it's like proper hot, 90 degrees and all that stuff. The UK, it's different. I mean, I remember vividly primary school, and I'm not being racist or anything, but some of the white people in my class used to stink, bro. They used to smell really bad. Like these kids be... You know they're white, and like they can see the mom that wiping the steep out of the eye and shit.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I'm sure that it's changed now, and I'm sure that people are more...
No, it hasn't. Actually, the video is very recent. They're saying how the poor are the people who use washcloths.
Right.
So them, they consider themselves clean when they just change the bed sheets. For them, it's a matter of kuingia kwa bafu, putting soap on their hands and just applying and showering. And they say they bathe from here to here.
To the knees. I've heard that before. Didn't Taylor Swift say that?
From here
at some
to
point?
here, they
don't.
occasionally. When I'm meeting somebody.
But the thing is, I always say, and like, I don't know how someone doesn't enjoy showering.
Exactly.
Because me, I just enjoy that. And it's like, even where I live now, the showers are...
speakers in the nini.
I have speakers in my bathroom, both of them, by the way. So if I just say, Alexa, play me some, I don't know, saying some music in the bathroom, because I feel, you know, especially when I wake up in the morning. So when I have my gospel playing, it's in my bathroom, and I'm fellowshipping by brushing my teeth, like, he saw the best in me. You know, I feel good. It starts the weekend really good, the morning really good. So, and mornings are very important to me as well. So, I feel it's all part of the process.
Kuoga lazima.
Kuoga lazima.
That's good. Please muoge.
How come you guys are so calm? You don't talk?
And what time do you go for radio though? Because you sleep around 3.
Like, when am I going to?
And how would you know that I sleep around 3, young man?
Definitely online. You reply to messages even at 3.
No, see, I've had bad. Okay, that's true. I have a bad habit, which I'm trying to curb. Literally, if I wake up and there's a message on my phone, if I've just checked my phone, right, I'll respond. I don't care what time of day or night. I'll just respond and go back to sleep.
Yeah.
But what I try to do nowadays is part of the morning routine for me is not to look at my phones before I get out of the house. So in answer to your question, I try to sleep early. Like I'll go to bed usually before 11, in the bed before 11 or before. Even sometimes, the other day I went to bed at 8 o'clock. And then I slept from 8 o'clock until midnight. Then I woke up, well, here we are, until 5. Do you know what I mean? So I tend to go, I'm not going to religiously say that I don't get 7 hours sleep most of the time. But I go to sleep, I try to be in bed by 11-ish. And then when I wake up at, like, I used to wake up at 4:30, but now I wake up at 5. And I wake up at 5. My routine is simple. When I wake up at 4:30, the routine used to be wake up, pray, meditate, and I used meditation for me. I discovered it maybe 3 years ago, and I used to think that's some white people stuff, you know. These white people, yeah. But I've realized that for me, meditation is a calmness of spirit.
Yeah.
And I always believe that, like that time of the morning when there's no distractions, it's a great time to just, you know. So for me, I only pray Monday to Fridays, by the way. Sorry, God, but Saturday and Sunday. I pray Monday to Fridays, Saturday. I forget. I wake up later those days, so God understands. He knows my heart.
Yeah, he knows.
But meditation. So now that I've thrown meditation out the window for the next month or so, I'm going to 5 a.m. is good enough because I wake up, I press snooze, then I wake up at 5. It's like 9 minutes past 5. Get up, I walk into the kitchen, I put the kettle on, and I stretch. I stretch right by the sink, and I make coffee. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I have my coffee before I shower, before I even brush my teeth.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because have you had coffee after you've got that fluoride in your mouth?
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Let me have I know where my mouth has been. Pause. Let me have my overnight mouth coffee. Then I go into the shower or into the bathroom and do that.
Okay.
So yeah.
But then what happens? So you actually take your coffee before you brush?
Yes.
And maybe you're home maybe say around 2:30 a.m. and you're drunk. And so does it?
No.
It
Man
actually change
doesn't drink.
It makes even the coffee just different. Not drunk. Okay, you actually drink.
Is it
Spelled with a Q?
Oh, more?
Yeah.
Okay. Take alcohol?
No.
Never.
No, just tasting.
Has anyone in this room ever seen me take alcohol?
What's
A
alcohol?
rhetorical question then.
Yeah. I
If
think
you
he's
are
joking. Just
drinking-
rephrase that statement again, please.
Just put it into context.
I'm shocked.
If you are drinking, if you
You
are.
are drinking.
If I was drinking,
Yeah.
Put yourself in that shoe.
if I was joking, some of the best shows I've done, I've been high
On?
on alcohol. No, I don't anything else. Just alcohol.
So you said you're not.
I'm joking. I drink. Everyone knows I drink. So for me,
Everybody knows.
I'm not like a drinker like some of my friends. Shout out to Otis. But like I'm not a well, maybe I am. I'm just as bad as any of my friends, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't drink every day. But if I drink, man. I won't lie. I'm not going to be sitting there and try to paint myself as this. I'm nobody's role model, by the way. You know what I mean? So
You are.
I'll have a drink. And one thing I will say is, even when I used to leave the club and go to do the show, those shows were dope. Because I'm not gonna ever drink myself to the point of stupidity. I'm not like that. You know, I'll just my driver will just drop me home.
Safely.
From Wasandra is like, Wasandra, you coming to the club tonight? Yes, you're the driver. But yeah, I don't drink as much like before work these days. But back in the day, man, I don't think there was any Friday morning between 2007 and 2012 that I was actually at work on a Friday morning, 100% sober. And those were our most successful years. Damn. I stopped. That's what changed.
Yeah. So you need to go back to that routine.
No. Drink responsibly, guys. It's not the be all and end all. And only drink when you're happy. Don't drink when you're sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And moderate. It's not the be all. And you don't have to drink. And if you don't drink, don't let anybody.
Drink
Guys,
more,
okay.
Moderately.
Thank you.
And if you don't, and also if you don't drink, don't let anybody. If your friends are telling you, comes you don't drink. Who doesn't drink? Just say, maintain, I don't drink, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people make it look like
It's a bad thing.
it's a bad thing. If you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do drugs, it's you, and it's good as well, you know?
Yeah.
We love the people. We love
Yeah,
them.
man.
Yeah, also a good thing you've talked about. Actually, it's you actually do meditate. It's not part of Christianity though.
No.
But it is actually an assimilation. So since part of your life you were brought up in the Caribbean, so let's talk about the Rastafari. So they have their culture. So it's like a levity for them. It's a way of living. It's not like a...
It's not really it's a way of life, yeah.
Yeah, so more of them, they want to connect more with the nature. And to actually, most of them, if not all, are vegans. And so that actually makes them, or rather puts them in a position to actually meditate even more or in a better way. Isn't it?
And smoke weed.
Okay.
Wait, is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
I'm not really talking about weed because it is a choice.
So let's talk about Rastafari. So Rastafari, as you know, is a religion which pretty much began in Jamaica, or a way of life which began in Jamaica. It's connected closely to Rastafari, who was one of the presidents or the prime ministers or the rulers of Emperor Haile Selassie, one of the rulers of Ethiopia. And the thinking behind the religion was that if you trace his lineage, he was directly connected to King David and all that stuff, right? I had an uncle and his friends who were Rastafari, and I think it's a beautiful way of life. Especially, I remember one of my cousins, Toddy, who was like a devout Rastafari, and even with Rastafari, you have different subsects. So you have the Nyabingi, you have the Bobo. They're all different. So the Bobo guys are the ones who tie their heads, and those guys are 100% ital, and they make their living from the soil. So if they're selling brooms, they're selling straw brooms and all these things. Nyabingi is slightly different, which is more closer to an African connect with the drums and stuff. And there's probably some other that I can't remember. Personally, I've experienced, as in any expression of faith, there are good and there's bad.
So Jamaica is a secular country.
A secular in the sense of?
The religion? Like, is it neutral?
No, so it's like in Jamaica, predominantly people are Christian. I grew up in the Pentecostal church, clap hands, fall on the ground, speak in tongues. I did all of that. But there's like 5,000 Muslims in Jamaica as well. There's a mosque as well. So I think that, like, to answer your question about meditation, Rastas are very big on connection and, like you say, liberty. And while I don't think everybody purposely goes out there to meditate, I do believe that there's a oneness in nature that you can't avoid. And if you spend a lot of time in nature, your meditation might not be stated, but it's happening in real time, you know. So yeah, Rastafari, man. Like, you know, I have so much respect for the faith, and they were very much maligned in the 80s and 70s. But now you can see it's become part of the culture where the respect is there, you know.
Aye and aye.
So shaikwa na dreadi.
Well, I choose to cover my locks. I choose to cover my locks because, you know, when I take my hat off, they come down all over here.
And you're not safe. And you're not safe.
Like Damian Marley, you know. Yeah. I'll tell you what, the first time I met Damian Marley and I saw his locks, my goodness, I was just like completely, his locks come down to like the back of his shin.
Hey.
Yeah, Damian Marley, man.
That's too much work, man.
How do you know? How do you know?
I had dread, man.
You had dreads?
Yeah.
I can imagine this guy with dreads, man. Your dreads would be the most carefully dreaded hair in Kileleshwa.
I mean, utakuwa nadhania wewe ni jambazi. Imagine ungekuwa na ka jambazi.
No, neat.
Oh. Okay.
Neat.
Okay, boy.
You know him, he has to be neat because he grew with sisters.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, he is the guinea pig. Yeah. So I bet you he can tell you more. Did you grow up with sisters?
No.
You have no sisters?
One
sister, yeah? Younger than you, right?
Yeah.
I bet you if you were to ask him and him about skincare routine, I bet he could tell you more.
Trust.
I bet.
Okay.
Because the uni is like, what that you use on your face? Well, you do it like this.
Hey, you are sandy.
Yeah,
No, but by the way, having a bigger sister, like I had my aunt was my bigger sister per se. She was like 3-4 years older than me. Having like a bigger sister, like who's there, it's dope.
Yeah.
They put you on the game, man, and they look after you. Like you think I could have a blackhead with my sisters around. You're mad. Come here.
Those white kids.
Yes, they're gone. They don't allow it.
They don't allow it. Yeah,
man.
Anyway,
rest in peace. You know.
Tell us about your career. What was your first feeling when you first landed to Kenya? By the way,
my first feeling when I first landed to Kenya. So I landed in Kenya. It was rainy season. It was raining. Mombasa Road.
Never rained
Which
the way
year?
it rained this
2007. Mombasa Road was not like how it looks now.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys don't remember old Mombasa Road.
No, we don't.
Hey.
What do you mean?
Hey, hold on. I'm not talking about resurfaced Mombasa Road. I'm talking about old Mombasa Road.
Yeah.
The road to the airport before the road to the airport.
The airport North Road.
My God, that thing had potholes. There was no sidewalks. And I remember just coming out of the airport. I was with DJ John and thinking to myself, wow.
This will be what.
Because I mean, when people, if the truth be told, the development in Nairobi especially, and I guess Kenya in wide, over the last 2 decades, we forget so easily.
Yeah.
It was traffic. I remember coming up past where they have that, is it called Manchester Textiles or something? With this, it's on the left hand side of Mombasa Road as you come up towards Odds and Ends. And just seeing so many people queuing up at the side of the road waiting for matatus or buses to go to work in the city because it was an early flight. And thinking to myself, this is actually chaos, but I love it. Chaos because because obviously coming from London, it's very, very different. You know what I mean? But also, I've always been an adventurer, so it was chaotic, but it was very freeing as well. So, I came for a week. No, came for 2 days. And just, obviously shotgun out to John and Microbar. They took me to some nice restaurants, man. They took me to Carnivore. They took me to Handy for Indian food. We went to Black Diamond. We went to this club called Pavement back in the day. And I'm like, hey, actually, this is not so bad.
It's not so bad, yeah.
I think
the
I
best
like
food.
this little life.
Yeah, they didn't take me to Kaiole, Dunholm, them places.
But now,
I've known those places.
But I feel like
He knows
before
those
angeenda
places.
hiyo time angeona sasa life vile iko.
But he
How?
I bet you used to go after.
Into those places?
Yeah.
Sana.
Walai.
Hey, I've fallen in holes all over the city.
Okay.
Potholes. No, there's a time. There was a time. Most of my friends, and even to this day, most of my friends, I've never been the kind of person who. My friends are just regular people, and that sounds very, very regular people. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I don't have industry friends. So, if you were to say to me, I need a phone number for, think of any artist. I don't have it. They come to the studio, but I'm never gonna be the guy who's like, when they leave in the studio, give me a number. It's not me, because I feel that as long as you have something to offer, if I need to find, give me an artist name. Tell me any artist. Rema, why are you going so far?
Kenya.
In Kenya.
I think I love Rema.
But if I need to find Rema, I could still find him.
Juakali.
If I needed to find Jua's number, I do have,
Yeah.
right? But if I needed to find, say, a Nameless or a BN or even a Major.
Major is
Nyash.
Major's easy.
Nyash.
Nashinsky.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I've only ever met Nashinsky once. I've only ever met him once. We had him on alive during COVID, but in real life, I've actually met him once. And I feel that Nashinsky is the kind of artist, I can't say for sure, a person. He likes to keep himself to himself, and he's very, very he's very selective as to who he lets into his circle, right?
True.
So why would I go and chase to be in his circle? See, he's there. It's very clear. It's very clear that that's his vibe. And people would say the same thing about me as well. At the end of the day, I've heard that G-Money is a snob. G-Money is hard to get hold of. G-Money is this. But it's one of those ones where if somebody shows you that that's what their vibe is, then respect it. Respect it. And if I ever need to get a hold of Nashinsky, I'd call Styles, DJ Styles or John or Eric or Monsieur Oaks, the producer, because I think between those three people, somebody there would know how to reach out to him, Yeah.
Okay, so that's when you came to Kenya. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa kazi yako ya kwanza. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa kazi yako ya kwanza.
Did I sort my work out first before I came?
When you came to Kenya, did you come as
to work?
To work.
Let's see that I got that. You made it hard by explaining yourself.
No, please. I wanted to ask.
On your word.
I wanted to ask, did you come as a DJ or who did you
I've
come
never
as?
been a DJ.
Oh.
If you ask me who I am, I'm a broadcaster. I'm in love with the science of radio. I love radio to every core of every bone of my body. I love radio, the science of radio. I love how radio has evolved. I love where radio is going in the future. I love radio, full stop. I love radio. So when I came to 254, it was just to help set up Homeboys Radio. That was it. It was an adventure for me. I'd been at One Extra in the BBC for
BBC
6-7 years, and just as life would happen, I met John when I was in London. He told me to start in a radio station. We had a conversation. At that time, now I was coming towards the end of a very unstable situation at one extreme. In a sense, unstable in the sense of I was moved into a space that I was not comfortable. I was now doing news and news journalism. That's not really no. I learned so much. Like,
even did news for.
Bro, I've covered events. Like, I've done
very
TV
optimistic about the election.
Yeah, I've done all of that.
It was election time. Even
that was election. That was 2000. But true story. In 2007, when we had post-election violence, I made so much money.
Really?
From the BBC because I was here. So now they were like, hey, we have a guy on the ground. I was in Kibera doing live reports. There was even days when how it works in the BBC in those days was like, so I'm here on the ground in Kenya. So then the BBC maybe has 40 stations. Hey. And then you sit in this room, like I'm just here, and I'm taking call after call after call after call after call. So they'd be like, the phone ringing like, this is BBC. So up next we have BBC Scotland. All right, cool, great, boom. So we can now go over to Nairobi. We have G-Money. What's the situation on the ground? Like, it's very tense on the ground at the moment, Albert. As you can say, a lot of the stations have been asked not to do live broadcasts, and it's very tense as we wait for these election results. And then you finish with him, then you get another call. Okay, now we have Jane from BBC Wales. Oh, G-Money, live on the ground. It's like, so now, and you say the same thing to like 40 different stations, and you get paid. Oh, it's called a turn. You get paid for each turn. So now I think then I was getting like 50, because I was no longer contracted to them. Yeah. I'm doing this as a freelance. I think I was getting like £50 a turn, man. I was turning. I was out there turning. That's good money. That's good money even now, you know?
Yeah.
So journalism, the beautiful thing about working at the BBC in those days and doing news was that I got to go to some amazing places. So, for example, in, I guess, maybe about 2000, 2003 or something, I was given the hard job to go and cover Trinidad Carnival. So they fly you to Trinidad Carnival, you have your carnival costume, you're in the streets, and you're broadcasting a show live from Carnival. But at the same time, I was sent to cover the World Cup in Germany, the Euros in Portugal. I did stuff. I was sent to cover the BET Awards. So, it's not all bad. It's not all bad. So working in the journalistic space also gave me a lot of access. So now, as you spoke about DJing. DJing is something that I've always been able to do. And at a point in time, it was how I funded my life and how when I was just, making it in the UK. When I came to 254, I had zero intention of DJing, like zero intention of DJing. I didn't have no intention to buy no decks, nothing. It's like, that phase of my life is done,
Yeah.
Little did I know. Cool, but at this point in my life now, it's something I really enjoy doing and I want to do more of in the future. Because I told you guys, I'm giving you guys a super exclusive. I do my last show at Homeboys on the 28th of June, which is in like about 3 weeks time. I won't go too much into it, but I've been doing radio, Homeboys radio, for 6,066 days.
Hey.
I counted
How many years?
So that's like 16. I've done the morning show for over 16 years. I think it's time for a mutual revamp. I feel it's good at this time for the station to be cognizant of the financial and the media landscape as it is, to reinvest in talent and refresh. And it's time for me to also say to myself that like the kid who wanted to do radio all these years ago has been able to do it for 30 years. So I just give God the glory that I've been able to live, like I've only ever wanted to do one thing, and it was radio. And God gave me that opportunity to not just do it, but do it in so many places. I've done shows in Jamaica, America. I've done shows in the Netherlands. I've done shows Trinidad, I've done shows in Kenya, I've done shows in, I used to do a show in Ghana, a weekly show in Ghana. Yeah. I've done radio. I even went to when they were setting up a Radio City in Uganda, I was able to go over there and meet the guys there and, offer some ideas. So I've been able to live that radio dream. And as a young black man as I was then coming up, it was so, my life has been so different from my peers. When I go home, some of my peers are just there. They're just like still doing what they were doing or just stuck in this life of routine.
Yeah.
Whereas I give God thanks that my life has never, ever been routine.
You've been up
It's always been a different, and I think that like my life journey, if anybody takes anything from my life, don't take this guy worked hard. I don't work half as hard as people think I work, but I allow people to believe that I'm working hard. Mm-hmm. When you're doing stuff you like, it doesn't feel like you're working actually. But if there's anything you take from it, just live life on your own rules. Mm-hmm. So, if you feel that you want to be a footballer, do it. If you feel like you want to be the world's greatest content creator, do it. If you feel like you want to be the most organized person on a podcast, do it. But just do what you want to do.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so any fear that you're going now to leave radio? Are you going to join the probably the decision making team, or you're actually leaving radio?
Done, finished. I've left.
Wait, I think the fear. Ebu, tell us the fears that you had when you were coming to that industry, and your fears now. Okay,
my biggest fear, I think, when you work in a contractual situation. For me, before I came here, I was always a freelancer. So when you work as a freelancer, you get paid more money, but you have to take care of your own taxes and stuff, which means that if you're creative, you can pay less tax than you should. Do you know what I mean? I think everybody's fear at any job in any space is how long is this gonna last? Okay. And if it doesn't last, how am I gonna pay my bills? You know what I'm trying to say? So that fear, my fear of coming to Kenya, and I didn't look at it as fear. I said to myself, for my whole life, even when I was doing pirate radio before I got, I went into professional radio, people used to say to me, yo, you're really good at this. But, imposter syndrome, and you're never thinking you're good enough and whatever. I never actually thought that I was good at radio. I thought it was something I was passionate about, but I used to listen to the greats and be like, no, those guys are good. Those guys are good. Me, I'm okay, but those guys are good. So I remember when I was coming to Kenya, I said to myself, if you're as good as everyone says you are, you're going to be fine. And I remember saying to my friends, and they were like, but you don't know the language. What are you going to eat? Kumbe, they don't have food in Africa. Come on. What are you going to eat? What are you going to eat? But basically, they were expressing their own fears. And their own fears were like, okay, this guy's a nice guy to have around. He's fun, he's vibes. You mean we won't be able to go to your house for the weekend? What are you talking about? And most of my friends told me not to come to Africa, not to go to Africa. Most of them were like, you're Jamaican. What the hell are you doing going to Africa? Because in those days, Jamaicans only go to two places, Jamaica and New York. They go nowhere else. Jamaicans are like, we're going on vacation. Where you go? I go to Jamaica. Or I go to New York. So the only person, believe it or not, the only person who was like, go, was the person who I thought was going to say, don't go. It was my grandmother. And my grandma, I said to my grandma, you're speaking to your parents, because I was raised by my grandmother. When you're speaking to your parents, you have to be very, very diplomatic. So I couldn't go to say, Mom, I'm going to Africa. I was like, or Mom, I'm going to Kenya. I say, well, Mom, I'm really thinking of,
relocating.
No, just going to see if I can do some work in Africa. Because, by then, I say Africa, I know it's Kenya, but the reason I say Africa is because, for us guys back in that days, Africa was just one place. My friends were either Caribbean or African. We didn't care where you were from, you were African. That's how ignorant we were in those days. And my grandmother said to me, my son, go and see all the places in this world that I won't get a chance to see.
That's the
Yeah, and she said that it was like it's a wrap. And me and my to context, me and my grandmother my grandmother, we had a great relationship. She was my mom, you know. I say grandma just for distinction, but she's my mom. She raised me, and I used to travel a lot. So wherever I'd go, I'd call her and say, "Mom, guess where I am?" And she'd just guess some country, and she'd never get it right. I remember one day I called her and I said, "Mom, guess where I am?" And she goes, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm in Jerusalem." She's like, "Jerusalem, like it in the Bible?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in Jerusalem, Israel." And she's like, "What's it like?" And I'm like, "Yo, there's a part in old Jerusalem. It looks just like the Bible." Dude, in hindsight, you realize how crazy that sounds. It looks just like the Bible. But what I meant to say, it looks like how the movies of the Bible look. So so she was the catalyst. She was like, "Go." And I figured, and I say this, another point of advice I'd say to people is that, like, anything you get into, if you don't like it, stop. So my thinking was that, like, if I go to Kenya, I don't like it here, I just go home. It's no big deal. At least the weather's been good for 2 or 3 months. Anything in life you do, listen, here's a moment. Not you, cameraman, the camera. I'm pointing to the audience. Here's a moment. Is this one? See?
Camera 12.
This one.
Camera 19.
Oh, I remember your shots. Your shots are different. This one, right? Yeah. Anything you do, you can stop doing. It's like that. If you go to university and you find yourself doing a course that's not you, stop. Your parents might not agree with that advice or whatever, but stop. Find what you want to do. Take time to find yourself, because within this story of life, you know what you want to do. You know where you want to be. You know who you want to be. Fam, in this journey of life, you're going to have so many people telling you what you can't do. But the only person who should not tell you what you can't do is you. Because when you go to bed at night, you know what you can do and what you can't do. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, for example, I know if I leave here and I say I have my gym bag in the car, I want to go to the gym, the choice is mine. I can go or I can go home. It's facts. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So you have a choice. In everything you do, you have a choice. Yes, some people's choices are limited by circumstance. And we all sit here from a position of privilege, great privilege as well. But at the end of the day, when you're making those life decisions, as a guy who's at this phase of life, I just say to guys, man, I wish all of the stuff that I worried about when I was 20 and 30, all those things I used to worry about, the things keeping me up at night, I wish somebody had told me, by the time you hit 40, you're not even going to care about that stuff. You get? Yeah. So just make your choices, man. You know, I could have, if I followed my script written by my parents, it would have been, "Hi, my name is Conrad Anthony Gray, attorney at law." You know, attorney at law, you know, or something. It wouldn't have been like podcaster, broadcaster. It would have been, or actuarial scientist.
Yeah.
You know, follow your passion, man. I know it sounds very easy to say it from this perspective, but follow your passion, man.
It's something that people say over and over, like follow your passion. But so people think, or people see it as today. Was it today? How inakwanga nini?
Nini?
Kiyo mnasemanga every day, that one. When someone tells you to follow your passion, it's something that we hear it every now and then, and I think it's okay. We need to constantly hear about it until the day you'll actually follow your passion.
Yeah, you see, it's important, man. I think it's like
Mnacheka kizungu yangu. Na yenyu ni mbaya huko nyuma.
No, you know, I didn't want to say that. But I didn't want to say that. But you know, it's I prefer to hear you struggling with English than you hear me struggling with Swahili. So you see, you go. But like, no,
but me, I'm not in denial. Kizungu yangu si muzuri baba. Yeah. So
yeah, I think it's important to reinforce. There are a few things that I think are important in life. I think importance in life is learning how to have some great friendships, learning how to relate to people, and I think that's very important because I think that one thing I can tell you is as you get older, it's harder and harder to make like friends. You meet people, and the more successful you become, and I pray for success for everybody in this room.
Amen.
The more successful you come, the more the doubts emerge as to why people want to be around you.
And that takes me to now asking, how would you compare the gatekeeping before and gatekeeping now?
Now, I think so. Gatekeeping is a word I don't like to use, and the reason I don't like to use it is because it's often used by people who don't want to put the work in. You get me? So I'm not. If I'm protecting my hustle, like let's just say I'm a DJ and I'm buying the late. I'll give you. This is actually a true story. When I was started DJing, you know, we used to use turntables and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And a friend of mine was like, "Yo, you have to intimidate the up and coming DJ, the one who opens for you. You have to intimidate him."
Okay.
And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Listen, when you go to a gig, even if they have the styluses on the stylus of the needles on the turntable, take those off, and you have to put your own ones on, and you must have the Concord, they're called Concords. You must have the Concord ones, they're the most expensive ones, with a diamond tip and this and that. And your headphones, you need, those days it was Sony headphones were in, you need the big Sony headphones so that when this guy sees you, he knows you're serious."
In the room.
You get me?
Yeah.
So those are psychological games that people play that you may say are gatekeeping, but it's not. It's at the end of the day, it's just like, I want to be the best and feel the best and whatever, what I do. And if you're coming to take this from me, come and take it, but come and be better than me. The first interview I ever did, and I wish they could find the footage of this, it was for a program called Straight Up.
Straight up.
KTN.
Yeah.
So the first interview I ever did was on Straight Up on KTN. And I remember saying on the interview,
Who?
I don't know if it wasn't Terror. I can't remember who the hosts were back then, right?
Anita was trend. No.
Who?
Anita was trend. Anita and Dedu.
Oh, no. It
Straight up was NTV.
Guys, this is way back. This is way back. I don't.
Was
Do you remember?
NTV. Was NTV.
Who was the host?
Anita and Fred.
It was NTV.
What's his name? Yes, it was this. If it comes to you, just put the name on the picture there in the edit. I can't remember who the hosts were, but anyway. And I remember saying to these guys, somebody said, what would you say to somebody who's watching this who wants your job? And I said to them, come and
Who
take
wants your
it.
job?
Who wants to do what you're doing? I said, come and take it. Come and take it. And I've said that for 20 years. If you want my job on the radio or in the DJ booth, come and take it. Come and take it. And you come, you take it, you're better than me, you move, you go, right? Yeah. So I have no issue with that, right? But just know that I'm a guy who's been DJing for 20, 25 years or radio for 25, whatever. In my house, I have the latest controller, the latest mixers or whatever, not because they're ornaments. It's because I'm still going to go home one hour or half an hour in a day or at least 3 times a week and just to practice stuff.
That's part of the intimidation.
Intimidation as well. Yeah. But I'm going to practice. I'm going to go and practice, and because one thing I'll tell you this, and the older guys in the industry will not want to hear this, but the reality is decline is inevitable. If you're a footballer, you think you're the same footballer at 40 that you're at 20. In all areas, and this is backed by science, by the way, whether you're an accountant, a scientist, or whatever, right? Decline is inevitable. You do the most of, like in some different fields, it's like if you look at this guy who's the guy from the theory of Einstein or whoever, or Charles Darwin, evolution. They say he made most of his important discoveries in his 30s and then spent the rest of his life trying to make more important discoveries than he did and failed miserably. So whatever you're in, if you're a video editor, right? I don't want to get too... this is a deep podcast. I can get deep.
Yeah.
I forgot. This is not mics.
Go crazy.
This is not mics. This is Banter box.
Go crazy.
But when you're younger, you have a thing called... It's called agile intelligence. So all of you guys in here have got agile intelligence. So you're able to think on your feet, make decisions quickly, learn things fast. It's like you could go out there, you go to Zambia, you learn a language quickly, whatever. Agile intelligence. Guys like me, have got crystallized intelligence. So my intelligence is based now upon the things that I've seen and learned over the years, based on my experiences. Ian Maguire. No, it's before Ian Maguire. This is before Ian Maguire. We're talking about straight up, by the way. This is before Ian. So so crystallized intelligence is now you process things based upon your experiences. So now when you come to me and you say, G's so wise. It's not that G's wise, it's that G's lived so long. He has this whole library of information. The librarian is slower. So when you go to the librarian and say, I need a book to talk about relationships, the librarian will say, I know where that book is. Now where is this book? And in my library, the librarian's like, where is this book? Then he, boom, suddenly he remembers and goes and gets the exact book that you need and brings it to give you.
Yeah.
Your librarian is like, we got so many of those books, runs upstairs, brings you down
a couple.
five books.
Yeah.
Now you choose.
He's
He's more agile, but less focused.
Okay.
So as you get older, you have to understand that you rely less on agile intelligence and more on crystallized intelligence. You get me?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that if you think about having a career in radio or having a career in whatever space, whatever you do, decline is inevitable. Embrace it. I could sit here and tell you, I have all these dub plates. I brought Elaine. I brought Conscience. I brought this. I brought that. No one cares. Who cares?
Us.
You have to learn how to. You don't care. When Conscience was saying do something, you weren't even live. Right? But yeah. So that's it. Don't fear the decline because it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now that you are more of in the creative industry and stuff, so let's talk about actually. So the government is trying to actually get money for the creative industry.
Okay,
So,
which is good.
okay, just wait. It might not be good. So okay, so Ruto went to the US, I think a couple of weeks ago. So he went to meet Tyler Perry, ndio. So alienda kwa the studios. And so when he went there, he said that he was going on our behalf. Of the creators and the creative industry. It's such a wide industry, ndio. And so Tyler actually did not meet him.
Right.
Yeah. Which first of all I feel like he just didn't want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how you feel.
No,
I
I
feel-
assume.
No, I don't assume because Tyler makes times for YouTubers. I mean,
Okay. So let's give this a different. Let's give this some different.
But he apologized, them.
Let's give this different context, right? Let's give this some different context, right? Tyler Perry has established one of the, if not the biggest black-owned studios in America, right?
Yeah.
Our president going to Tyler Perry's studio is not incumbent on Tyler Perry being there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, for example, let's say you go to the BBC, the headquarters of the BBC, Broadcasting House in London, right? And you go on behalf of, you could even be the cabinet secretary or the president, whatever, right? There's a very high possibility that you're going to go to that place and meet the editors, the deputy chairman or whatever. You might not ever meet the guy who runs the company. Not because he's slighting you. He might not be in the country. He might be on the other side of America. He might be on a shoot somewhere, right? So Tyler Perry's like, okay, Sawa, I can't be there, but he calls his boy Steve Harvey, who's visible, and says, who's visible? We all know Steve.
Okay.
And says, go and do that. The idea that he slighted the president. So I think that when he even apologized and said I couldn't make it, it was based upon the feedback of guys here on Twitter.
Exactly.
This guy went there, and they're, hey, Tyler, they're saying this thing about you. The president of this country went to your country, you didn't see. It's like, shh, okay, cool. Yeah, I wanted to meet the guy, but I'm busy. It's if you think about it, and this is something that really happens a lot in the industry and on social media. We look at the most small, insignificant parts of a question and turn them into the biggest thing.
We are very.
So it's like, in the day, it's like, and let me tell you, bro, it's like if I had 1 shilling for every time someone has said to me, hey, gee, I thought you were a snob. Kumbe, you're cool. Like that. But guess what? It's easier to say, this guy doesn't speak to people. This guy's hard to reach. This guy doesn't pick his phone. This guy doesn't. My life changed when I realized I don't have to pick up a phone call if I don't want to. Where does it say that if you call me, I have to pick the phone?
But it's good you pick ours, man.
Occasionally. Occasionally. But this is what I'm trying to say. It's like we've blown up this small thing into this big thing. And at the end of the day, if you look at politics, let's be honest. There's people who thought Baba should have won. There are people who think Ruto should have won.
Okay.
Right? It's simple. It's politics, right? So my philosophy has always been, right? Like, whether you thought this guy is going to win or this guy is going to win, right? The official elected president of the Republic of Kenya is William Samoei Ruto, right? He's charged with the stewardship of what we have to do, right? We can talk until we're blue in the face.
Okay.
We can talk until we're blue in the face. Wherever you stand on the political the political trenches, just know, either you're going to spend 5 years or 10 years or however long he's in power just being angry for all your life. Or you can turn around and look at some of the good things. Let me tell you, and this is another soundbite for you guys. Yes, taxes have gone up and everything. All of us are feeling the effect of taxes. And all the people are saying that this guy has, oh, which hour already? Shoot. This guy has said that taxes have gone up and da. But I'll tell you another story. In the UK, 2007, 2008, in the US, 2007, 2008, when they had the recession, taxes also went up. Because taxes are a part of a financial thing in terms of like, you increase taxes, not just to increase revenue, but also to help curb inflation. It's all connected somehow, right? And there's different economic, different policies. That's what you have: capitalism, socialist. All of these are different political, social, economic things, right?
Okay.
So he's on a course that he thinks in the long term is gonna bear fruit. But for me, I gotta look at it this way. Like, end of the day, it's like, so I'll give the guy. If we're in the same place in 5 years' time, and nothing has changed, there's been no change in services, there's been no changes in delivery, there's gonna be no whatever, then you can be like, this hasn't worked, we hate you.
When tax increased in the UK?
US.
How US?
UK.
US, UK. Okay.
Also, how long did it take to see the change?
So, I mean, you have to look at it this way. Our change, and I'm not an economist, so I'm not gonna say that, speak authoritatively, but half of our issue is that most of our money goes in towards servicing debts. So most of our money goes into the money we make, we take to pay back. It's like, you know how it is. If you have a job and you're one of those guys whose salary barely meets, by the third week of the month, you're calling Austin. Austin, hey, by the way, so you give me 15K until end of the month, right? 15. Let's say 15. What? You guys asking for less? Me, when I'm calling Austin, is 15K in those regions. You go to Austin for 15K, right? Now I get my salary. And my salary is 30K. Right? You see, by the time now, I have to pay Austin back his 15K. Yeah. Now I have to get 15K to spread everywhere else. So instead of now paying my landlord his 8K, I say, boss, this month let me give you 6, and then I'll top up end of next month just because things are hard. This other bill you have here, so you always you're always chasing. Yeah. So now by the time it gets to the end of the month again, and you call Austin for 15K, for his 15, hey, let me 15K. I paid back last time. Remember this time now, when you're paying him back, you still have an additional 2K to give on top of your rent, and your landlord doesn't want to hear stories. So we're always chasing our tail because most of our money is going into us paying debt. What I think he's trying to do is trying to make us less reliant on debt and service our debts. Okay. So my thing is this: am I the biggest fan of any kind of politics? No, right? Okay. But I'd rather I'm not Baba. Okay, Baba, I'm a Sama. But I would rather give somebody the benefit of the doubt. Okay. And then if they mess up, I'll be like, whatever. You get me?
Okay. Okay, but the thing is, I think first it's a very wrong comparison to actually look at compare London and Kenya. it cannot work. That's the thing. Because in the UK, there are policies and everything is straightforward. If there is a recession, we can actually backtrack and get the cause and the effect. So we can actually work around it and make a good economy again. So the thing with Kenya is we do not even have a clear debt register.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Facts.
Yeah.
And then the changes have not even been very much visible since from the last president.
Right.
They'll never be visible.
So here's the question I'll ask you. Okay. And the question I'll ask you is this, right?
Okay.
When you went to bed last night and you got up this morning, did the sun come out? The sun came out, right?
Yeah.
And today at 6:27, the sun will start to set. There are things that are guaranteed to happen no matter what, right? I say that to say this. If we appoint people and have always voted along the lines of tribe and ethnicity, and we've also always had that level of nepotism, and we've just had bad governance, as night follows day, we're never going to have a good situation. It's a fact. So the fact of the matter is, yes, a lot of these guys have been in politics for so many years, and everyone's to blame. You were there from 1970. You were there from 80. You were part of Y2K. You was this, you was that. They've always been there. Yeah. But until we demand more by changing the way we vote, and I'll tell you this, if there's one thing I'm proud of as a Jamaican, is that in the 80s, when Jamaica was going through its political upheavals and people were dying during elections. In the 1980 election, over 1,500 Jamaicans were killed by the gun. And it was, there's allegations that guns were supplied by the CIA, and, they didn't want the incumbent guy to win, Michael Manley, because he was close to Cuba and the Soviet Union and all of these geopolitical things, right? But something happened in around about 80s, 90s, where Jamaicans woke up one day and they were like, you know what? By the way, if I have a pothole outside my house, I'm not voting for that guy. I don't care where he's from. I don't care if he's my neighbor. I don't care if we come from the same parish, the same region. I'm not voting for him.
Okay.
And people began to vote on issues. So if people vote in the next election and they vote against Ruto because they are poor and they're hungry and their lives have become bad, that's politics. And that's how it should be. But by the same token, if your life is better because of a politician or because of political things, then you should vote for continuity.
Yeah.
You get? Until we fix the night and day situation where we vote along the lines of tribe and we don't vote on policy, we vote on popularity and what I think I can get. Until we change the way we look at that, this end's not going to change. You can't, in Jamaica we say what's gone bad in the morning can't come good in the evening. So it's on us as well to demand more and be more vocal within the process.
Okay, but now I clearly know who you support. So,
who do I support? But no.
Okay, this is the thing.
Hey, no. Wait. Listen. I am not a supporter of Ruto. I am not a supporter.
It was on a light note, so
I'm not a supporter. I'm not.
Right. He's going deep.
It's going deep. Okay.
No, it's the deep podcast.
Deep.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. I have never voted, so I don't have a choice one way or the other. But I'm not a fan of one or a fan of the other, right?
Yeah.
But I know when my Ascari can't make ends meet, or my housey is looking for help, or that's what I vote on. I decide on whose policy is making the people around me better.
Yeah.
I know that no matter which no matter which president came in after the last president, just the global trends, they're gonna have a hard time. But the question is, are we gonna borrow more to make life soft, or are we gonna try to curb our course to make things better? Okay. I don't know. So I'm not a supporter of one or the other. Yeah. I just know that at the end of the day, as people, we have to get more involved in the process. England's about to have an election. I think next week, Rishi Sunak is going up against this guy from Labour. Half the people who are going to vote for Labour in the UK, they don't support Labour, but they're just tired of this other guy. Politics based upon how it affects me. Okay, now back to the story. The thing is, I feel like this is the thing I want to build the context that actually Tyler could make time for people. There were some drone guys who are actually coming to
wanted to use his home because he has like a mini runway. You get, and so he had time to be there. They had the shoot, doing nothing. That's just an hobby. Okay, not nothing, but an hobby. So the thing is, our government, or rather the people who are going to represent us there, did not actually spell value to that guy. Because if there was actually an exchange of value for and not PR, then I feel like Taylor could have shown up.
Let me ask a question.
Okay.
Let me ask a question. Was the state visit of William Ruto to the United States to go and see Tyler Perry in Madea, or was it to go and see Joe Biden?
Okay, this is the thing.
I'm asking a question.
I'm also answering.
No. Answer.
So this is the thing. Okay. No. I'm not going to do a yes or a no. So this is the thing. So he wanted to show the creative industry.
No.
That's the thing. Because
it's just
let him finish. Let him.
Yeah. So I feel like he wanted to show the creative industry that he was actually going to help them in one way or the other through the connection in that studio. But in real sense, he does not do the things himself. He has advisors. Because I don't think Ruto sits down somewhere and he knows Tyler. So I feel like the people who actually advise him on it, for me, it's more of a PR stunt rather than there's actually no results. I don't feel like there's anything we're going to get out of it. Okay. So the other thing is now is, because I bring the question back to you, he is actually going to Korea. And they're supposed to come back with some 40 billion for their creative industry.
Okay.
So I personally feel like, okay, this is my opinion, so I'll hear your opinion, guys. So I feel like there is no need for you to go and bring money. You just make good policies around the industry, and then people will actually make their way to making the money in that industry. I don't feel like the PR of you actually trying to bring us money that will never reach us a good thing. So it will never work. It's like you're trying to baby feed us or something like that. Let us do our own. You make the policies and let them be fair.
I put it to you that you are part of the problem.
No.
You're part of the problem.
Why?
Let me tell you why you're part of the problem, right? Okay. You're sitting in this studio, right? You're sitting in the studio. I see lights. I see crew. I see beautiful Natasha. I see we're on the Banter Box podcast. I don't know for sure, but I'm willing to bet that President William Ruto or President Uhuru Kenyatta, as he was, has not put 1 cent in the pocket of the people who own the studio that you sit. But you're still here sitting here. You're here, right?
Yeah.
Right. You're here. This is the point I'm making, right? When the president goes to America, right, and we're in the creative space, so we think about the creative space, but there's agriculture, there's technology, there's education, there's water, there's all these other things that he probably came back. Probably the guys who don't have water in a village somewhere are now going to have water because something has happened as a result of this trip. The problem is, I don't know what guys really expect. Now, the point you made that was good was, if you want to encourage the creative industry, make policies that support the creator. So, for example, make it easier for me to create. But then again, I asked you the same question. How easy is it for you to create anyway? I'll tell you something, how easy it is for you to create. Think about MKBHD, Marquis. If you go onto his channel, he's been doing videos for 15 years. He's 30 now. He's been doing videos for 15 years. His first videos as a creative, he shot on some camcorder thing, whatever. It's grainy as hell. Yet now he's the biggest tech reviewer in the world, right? I don't think at any point the president who was at the time, maybe Obama or Clinton or whoever it was, turned around and said, hey, MKBHD, you're doing a good thing. Exactly. He put the work in an environment which allowed him to think. Think about us as creators. What's the issues we have? YouTube doesn't pay us as much as they pay other guys, right? YouTube don't pay us as much as they pay other countries. That's one thing. That's a policy issue that can be addressed. This guy's telling us to wrap up. We're talking today. That's a policy issue, right? So the point I'm trying to make is, at the end of the day, I don't know what magic wand creators expect to be waved.
Exactly.
And another unpopular take as well. It's like, end of the day, if I go to work and I have to pay my taxes, right? If you're a creative and you work in a creative space that is now managed correctly, let's say that the government fixes the creative space and now all of a sudden you're all making this money. The government comes on and says, okay, now we expect you to pay 10% or 15%. Why are you arguing? And I'm not on anybody's side, but I'm on the side of reality. It's reality. It's like, at the end of the day, one thing I can guarantee you in life is you have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Okay. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
You have to. So at the end of the day, it's like, we can't expect this amazing gift where, the president comes back with an aircraft full of filming contracts. We're all going to get to dress up like Medea for a day and be paid by Tyler. It doesn't work like that.
Exactly.
So the questions you need to ask is, why are creatives not together enough to impact policy?
Okay.
When these guys of the Kenya Copyright Board were sending out these things about you have to pay to film for YouTube, I saw Abel Mutua post up his one or whatever. I think he did. Jagush did that one. Psycho did. What do you know is about that? These are all individuals. Hey. And then, of course, Twitter jumped on, the government's trying to kill us, this government. Where's that one voice that would speak on behalf of the creatives? I can tell you this. We tried to set up a DJ association about 8 years ago. Okay. There was an existing organization called ADJ, the Association of DJs. Bro, it went so far to the point where homeboys, we gave them time. We gave them time in the boardroom. Mike Rabar would come in, would do the meetings. Mike would buy 10 pizzas because he believed in what we were doing. That organization did not get off the ground. You know why?
Why?
Because DJs hate each other.
That's a fact.
They smile, but they hate each other.
They do.
And you know what? I'm sorry to burst your bubble. Creatives hate each other as well.
Wow.
And then, hi, babes. I hate.
Okay. Hi, babe. You said hi, babes. Hi, babes, because I don't even know your name. So,
yes, I'm
going to say babe.
It's what I'm saying, right? So you have all of that stuff. Let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
If there's no one who can speak with one voice to represent, when there's something wrong with VAR, they don't go and ask every player what you think. They'll go to the PGMOL, which is the Premier League, blah, 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 managers or whatever. Or you get. So that's the fact of the matter is we are given bad deals because we haven't learned how to work together. It's as simple as that. There's a guy right now who you can say, there'll be, it's like you could go to another podcast and say to somebody, oh, I want to be a guest on your podcast or vice versa. And they're like, yeah, of course, yeah, we can do it next week. Doesn't happen. I ain't going on their podcast. Fine. That man, there's some waste, man. You get?
Yeah.
So you don't work together. So no one works together, but you want so you're basically saying, Tyler Perry, come and bless us all individually, but please make sure you bless me more than you bless those guys. It's nonsense.
Yeah, so I feel like the thing is, so you're actually supporting me. So the thing,
you?
Yeah.
About the need for policy.
Exactly. So the policy thing, and the thing is, there is no magic to actually people making it. There's no magic. So people have to put in work, but at the same time, the government should not come out as if they are going to reward us, as if they're going to talk to Tyler Perry, and now we are going to KICC to meet all podcasters, all filmmakers, and now things are going to change the next morning.
Again, I think you're part of the problem.
No, I'm not part of the problem.
I think you're looking for a solution that is your solution that or your analysis of the situation is very populist. I think at the end of the day, it's deeper than that. And to impact policy, you have to work together. And until everyone's working together, until there's an actors guild or a DJs guild or a creative guild or a content creators guild or something that guys are working together, where I can say I speak for 22,000 young TikTok guys, and this is what they're saying. And then when the government says, oh, you 22,000 TikTokers, we don't want to hear stories, these other 22,000 will start making noise on social media. Till even the government's kids are like, Daddy, these guys are saying that you're doing this on TikTok. Until you can speak with one voice, there's nothing you're talking about.
Yeah.
Actually, the TikTok one worked.
No. The TikTok even has a president anyway, but that's the thing. I think there's that factor of actually being united, but they cannot be absolute unity in any
In
industry.
anything, yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe a smaller number, and then also the fear of the older people, not talking about you. So I mean the older people who actually feel like they are going to be replaced in the...
I'm pretty certain that there's very few older people who, after they achieve certain things in life, are literally lying down thinking about, I've got to make sure that Banter Box don't make it. I think that they have other issues to worry about, to be honest.
Nah.
You know what, honestly?
No.
I can tell you, for me, I can tell you, like, end of the day, I don't care who's got next. I don't care who's next.
You see, that's one thing I also learn about you. For like the creators and the older guys I've met, they'll be like they have the job and they can connect you, but they have a feeling that if you come in, you'll take over. Yeah, you'll take over that spot and.
Okay, so this is the thing. So these guys, yes, they want to actually exit the field, but they want to have they want to have a hand on it, not because they want to actually improve it, but they actually want still to have something.
Yeah,
so they benefit from it.
They better manage you
to
grow with you now.
And how is that different from what I'm doing here?
What do you mean?
How is that different from the good company?
How?
The good company is no different.
How?
So the good company, let's look at the good company as an example, right? Mm-hmm. This is the Banter Box podcast, right? Mm-hmm. The good company is investing in time, space, and energy for you guys to do your podcast.
Okay.
With the idea that maybe in a year's time, maybe in a year and a half, 2 years' time, you guys will be the biggest podcast or be up there.
Okay.
And then at some point, the good company will say, okay, we're now going to sell advertising on this podcast, and you're going to get this amount of money, and we're going to get that amount of money, right? Now, if I owned the good company, if I own, which I don't technically, if I own the good company, do you think I'm not looking? There's somebody wouldn't be looking at the wider picture? Of course they are. It's when I go to work at Radio Africa. Do you think that they're paying me a paycheck because they think I'm a nice guy? They pay me a paycheck because they want to use my talent to bring in advertising. It's and until you are at the top of the food chain. Until you're at the top of the food chain and then you're making the decisions, we're all slaves.
But then I don't think you. Now the difference is you're seeing the positive side of us. What now you're talking about is the fact that I don't want, if you have given us the chance. If you had that
the good company is giving you a chance.
Okay.
For tax purposes, the good company is giving you a chance. No, not me.
But ingekuwa mtu mwingine mwenye sasa tunaongelelea hangekubali, like angekuwa like atushaja podcast tuko nazo mingi, so we don't
need a new one.
You see now your intentions are pure. Your intentions are, you've stated your intentions from the get go. So you have given us that the good company
opportunity
has given us. So now we're talking about those people who are like, good company tuko na podcast mingi msikuje.
Okay, this thing of wanting to look things of, I don't know, pure intentions. Good company is a business entity anyway.
Yeah.
So the thing about pure intention is not there.
Oh no,
it is.
But you're wrong there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Not.
Do you know what the acronym for the? You know the good company is the acronym.
Yeah.
What's the full name of the good company? No, seriously. You don't know? So the good company is an acronym. It's the legal name of the company is Getting Out Our Dreams.
Yeah.
So the genesis of the good companies, to take you back, was because I was in a position where I was doing so many things for people. Like you could come and say, G, I need this. You could come and say, G, I need this. Come and say, G, I need this. And G was now all over the place, trying to do all of these things. And then we sat down with Kevin one day and said, listen, why don't we create this vehicle that enables me to get out all the things that I have inside of me, all of the podcasts and this and the ideas that I have, and also takes me out of the space of having to do everything.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So it was, and Getting Out Our Dreams, it's like Kanye West, Good Music, his label. That's the same, that's where it name from, Getting Out Our Dreams. So the good company's basis has never been, it was never just like, we're going to do this thing and make money. It was to just bring order to a life that was chaotic.
Yeah.
Now, when we started, and we bless COVID for this, when we started doing, this Mike's was audio, but during COVID we couldn't meet. So we started to record remotely. Then we did things on Zoom. And then we started to post them up on Zoom, right? At the same time, and I'll give you the story to show you how organic and pure this is. Somebody wrote a comment on one of the things we did saying, I love the podcast, but 720 ain't it in terms of the quality of the video. Now, I don't know anything about cameras. I didn't know anything about cameras. I'm giving you guys so many exclusives right now. This guy, Austin, I call Austin. I said, Austin, you went to school about cameras. I need cameras. So Austin, being the government employee gave me a list of options with stuff. And we went to order the cameras. What people don't know is the money to buy those cameras. Where did that money come from? Everyone like, hey, that money came out of G-Money's pocket. No, it came out of my pocket. My brother gave me that money. My brother gave me $4,000 and said, well, he said to me, what do you need? I said to him, I need cameras. And he gave me $4,000. Kevin doesn't even know this. Kevin even thinks it's my money. It was my brother's money. Gave me $4,000 and then he gave me $3,000 to buy a super powerful laptop that we could edit on. You get me? Which I sold.
Bless.
Executive decision.
Okay.
You know, but the point I'm trying to make is this: it's all organic.
Yeah.
How did I meet Grouchy? I knew Grouchy for years. Grouchy used to come to this house and play FIFA. I'd never attended one of his gigs. I knew he was a DJ because I'd bump into him in Mombasa or whatever. And one day, I'm filming something for Trace. Grouchy was the editor. And as I'm leaving the thing, and I keep on running the joke, when Grouchy said to me, as I was leaving the thing, he goes, yo, G, send the elevator back down. Meaning, you're there, send the elevator back down so guys like us can come up. You get me? Didn't know what he's talking about, went away. I didn't know what he's talking about, but went away. And then I used to edit the podcast myself. And then one day the light bulb clicked. This guy says he can help me to edit the podcast. And then Grouchy came on board. And there's Austin. When Grouchy came on board, Grouchy used to come in here Wednesday, move the sofa, put up the lights, adjust the lights, put the set in the corner there, remember? By the time when Grouchy and Austin and these guys are setting the set up, I'm in my room here. These guys are coming here again. And by the time coming, and then Grouchy's like, what guys don't know? Grouchy's like, yo, no, the lighting is on this. You have too much light coming from here. Managing the set. Did not miss, am I lying? Did not miss an episode. One day Grouchy says to me, hey, I have an idea for this thing, this music thing. And he showed me a video of DJ Puffy and how Puffy was doing his thing. And say, we tried. He did the wake up call. The first one, he got the logo done, blah, blah, blah. And if you've watched, I sometimes go and I watch the first episode of the Wake Up Call. And I said, I wish guys knew how pure this moment was. This was in my whole career, this is one of the most purest moments. Because it was just a guy who had an idea. And we were fortunate enough to be able to bring it to life. And sometimes I walk into this place and I look at these lights and I look at these cameras and I think to myself, wow. If you watch the Wake Up Call, the first episode, we have a ring light. A ring light.
Okay.
I want you to go and watch the first episode of the Wake Up Call and look at that studio and feel yourself, well, wow. We've come from far. So that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. My thing is this, right? Trust the process. Yeah. Yes, the good company is there to make money, to keep the lights on. Yeah. So it is. But at the same time, I believe if we are creatives and we create, it will come. You know? It will come.
Yes.
Brings me back to that.
About the pure intention thing, it's not like... I personally don't feel like it should be looked in that angle because it actually makes... I feel like it should be more collaborative. Yet it is pure, but the moment you actually put it out there that it's more pure, then it's likely to die. Because
I disagree, and I'll tell you why I disagree, right? I like to disagree with him. The reason I disagree is this. If you think about it, right? On very few occasions, you hardly see anybody in this studio who's not family. Imagine if you were walking into the studio and every week there was a different client, a different person. You walk in here, there's this person here filming today. Because it's purely a machine. It's purely commercial. It's purely make money. It's purely, let's create 99 podcasts. Let's open the space. You come in here one day, There's a socialite, if it's still called socialites, socialites with a photo shoot against this wall, and there's this and that. I think that would be a horrible environment to work in.
Yeah.
But when you walk in here, you see the same faces doing the same things. If it's not the fan zone guys having their banter, it's us guys doing our thing. If it's not Mike's, it's Grouchy doing the thing. It's not Bob, it's Praise Party. Fam, if you watch the Praise Party and you watch the episode with Crowbar, especially, that was created in an environment where he felt at peace. Can you imagine if he'd gone to film that in a studio where he was paying 20K an hour and he had to chop, hey boss, we have somebody else coming in here at 3 o'clock. Hey boo, this Jesus thing you're doing. Hey, hurry up. Let's finish this thing. Just drop the story. Like it or not, the environment that you're creating affects your creativity. So I'm not scared to say that like there are people who will never walk through these doors. And they may have 99,000 followers and 9 million likes and views, but they never walk through this door because their energy doesn't match. It's like Ari. When Ari joined the team, Ari's one of our cameramen. He's very shy. He doesn't go in front of the camera. But I'm one of our editors, rather. Ask Ari how I met him. We were randomly walking in his estate, and he's like, hey, gee, you do this. And I said, I used to work with Della, blah, 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 blah. So me, I call Della. Hey, Della, this Ari guy, what's he like? She's like, hey, he's amazing. Ari is now part of the team. Organic.
Yeah.
Organic. If it's corporate, if it was corporate, Ari would have to go through CRB check, certificate of good.
Exactly, like you definitely find an excuse to
not give him.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. When I'm talking about pure intentions, I'm talking about from the first time Sly pitched the idea of Banter to you, you are very open to listening, not only to him, but to us as well. And I feel like the energy, you'll always know when someone's intentions are like a play or something. But from personally, I felt like the intentions were pure. That one, I let me put it out there.
The only thing I would say is that, from a broadcast perspective, talking to the mic like this.
Sasa hii mic kidogo imenitesa ni vile tusikusema, but
it's okay. But yeah, I get it, and I feel like there's a quote that I like. It is, and I think we need to wrap because this guy's looking like we have other things to do. But
part of the problem.
It's part of the problem, right? I think there's a quote, and the quote is the right to dissent is the foundation of liberty. And liberty is the climate within which man's creativity flourishes best. It's okay to go against the grain. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. It's okay to have a different ideology. Yeah. But freedom is the climate within which man's creativity flourishes best. Yep. If you feel free, if I feel free, I can create. And that's what we're trying to create here. Yeah. Creation in freedom.
Yeah. Okay, let's look for another name, but not pure intention.
Deep, don't play with me. You see that? Create in freedom.
Early morning.
Oh, yeah.
Early morning.
It's in the room.
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay, sawa. Anyway. It's a better thing more than pure intention, but anyway, I look for a better way to explain it.
How do you put up with this guy?
We know him. You can't defeat him. That's the problem.
It's okay.
Okay, so Sly has something to say before I close.
Sometimes I feel like, talking to G, when you leave G, you just feel like you're born again.
Hey.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
Sometimes that's
we
speak a lot. So
that's a good compliment, though. I receive it. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like I'm changed.
Okay.
In so many ways, anyway. Because you remember, even there's a day you told me there's a risk you did in UK of doing an event, something, and then
went wrong.
Then the other one lost everything.
Yeah, I think that was humbling. It's the story of when I tried to do this event and I tried to do everything myself, got it horrendously wrong, and everything failed magnificently. And it was fail. Hey, if it was for failure, it 10 out of 10. You know what I mean? And I remember this, just in that moment, remembering, I saying to myself, you know what? And there was some advice that was given to me. Someone said to me that, like, G, there's nothing wrong with crying if you feel pain. And he meant, what the guy meant was that there's nothing wrong with asking for help if you feel that you need it. And that's one of the lessons that I've never forgotten, that, sometimes you do need help. Just ask for it, man. And you'd be amazed at how many people are willing to help, Yeah.
Oh, okay. We need lunch, so we'll talk after.
Whenever I walk into this room, people say, by the way, I gave you guys the exclusive.
But you actually said...
Wait. Okay. I gave you guys, in 28 days, I'm going to be unemployed.
What?
You think I'm going
to be... But you see, now,
but you're not going to pay taxes anyway.
Since you'll be unemployed, sorry. Nasaomba. You see, now I'm very comfortable. I'm thinking now tunapiga story. So, see now you're going to be unemployed. Now you won't be able to buy those lunches that we keep on asking for.
But
just buy us a cook.
But wait. But there's another perspective of that.
Okay.
Maybe God's gonna bless me when I let go of this other radio thing and give me more.
You see, unaona wewe mwenyewe sasa
not even maybe, God's going to bless me.
Exactly.
We know.
Sasa mbona ulikuwa unaji...
Okay, so the thing is, we want that lunch to celebrate that thing that is coming.
What do you guys want?
Tutaongea nyuma ya
We'll just talk beyond the time. Yeah.
See, now the podcast is going to end. Now you guys want to run. We're finished. We're done here.
Anyway, we are going to the game part.
Okay.
I have like 2 questions before I ask you now the questions that I had. Nini. What is ugali in Jamaica?
There's no equivalent of ugali in Jamaica.
Oh.
The closest thing we have to ugali in Jamaica is a thing called... We call it tonkan meal, which is like maize, and you do it in pretty much the same way as ugali, but it's like yellow maize. So you can cook it and put like salted cod in it and stuff. But mostly we use it to feed dogs. I'm just...
Jesus.
So basically it would be like you cook like ugali, the same kind of thing, but then you put like the meat and the scraps and the bones and stuff in it, and you use it to feed the animals.
Okay.
But also humans eat it as well, but like with different kind of things. But usually it's used to... And I remember saying that on air and people think I'm being offensive. No, it's just a fact.
But you eat ugali?
No, it's
ugali, yes.
Do you eat ugali?
It's the sixth month of the year. Have you eaten ugali? Or
Yes. No, actually,
once a year. You said once a year.
Funnily enough, I won't even lie to you. I've eaten more ugali since January. And what I've realized as well is that like when my friends come over and they prepare ugali, it tastes better than the restaurant one. So now, like I'd be like, come to we're gonna cook. Just cook some. So even the day before yesterday, I had ugali.
Okay, at least you have less set for it than Matumbo.
Next time you tell them to
Mutumbo, no way. Mutumbo, whatever you could, no way.
Matumbo
Let me
is
tell
nice,
you,
man.
if I ever get kidnapped,
I'll cook it for you.
If I ever get kidnapped and they tell me to record a video, the video is gonna be like, "Hi, Naitwa Jimani, I love Matumbo." And if
that's a cry for help.
And if you ever hear me say that, that's a cry for help.
Okay.
Like, yo, that's the code word.
Okay.
Is it that you've not tried it, or you tried it once and you didn't like it?
Matumbo is tripe.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
Of course, I've tried it. Like as a kid.
In a restaurant,
Like my
at
grandma.
home. Huh?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I didn't like it.
I'll cook it for you.
I
don't
told him
want.
the same thing. I'm like,
I'll cook it for you.
I don't want it.
You have to.
You have to
have it.
And omena?
Omena I've had. Omena
It's
I've
nice.
eaten it. Omena,
Tell them.
but not the dried one like it's in the... I like the one when it's just fresh from the lake and it's fried dry, like crispy. Yeah, I've had that in Magori.
takupikia
In
Magori.
Oh, okay.
So we woke up in the morning, we drove to Homer Bay Market, bought some omena, drove back to the homestead in Magori, fried them up nicely. It was good.
Next time unashtua watu naambia nipikie sima. You know what sima is?
No.
Sima is ugali.
What was the first Kenyan food you liked?
The first Kenyan food I liked, Tusker. No, I'm joking. I think what actually I used to like. Funny enough, I liked mokimo the first time I had it. Like I thought it was pretty dope.
With?
I had it with like nyama or whatever, with meat. Yeah.
Hated?
The first one I ever hated has to be mutombo. I don't. It's on the list. Yeah, the The first kind of drink I fell in love with, funny enough, was Pilsner. It used to be a Pilsner. I can't believe it. Pilsner.
That was 207, huh?
Hey, 207. Let me tell you. As Dave Chappelle said in his comedy special last week when he was here, he says, he mentioned a particular beer and he was like, this beer, you drink this beer, you're going to go home and beat your wife and kids. I feel like some beer is just hood. You know what I mean? So
I think that was gay.
Okay, so...
Ngoja. Niaje bro?
Poa.
Uko poa?
Like, kabisa.
Kabisa.
Yeah? Labda wewe?
Mi niko sawa kabisa.
Sawa.
Naeza enda na gari yako kwa duka.
So Gary's car, Duka isn't that Mark? No, it's a market.
Shop.
That's so cool. Duka is what? Duka is shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, say again?
Naweza enda na gari yako kwa duka.
You wanna take my car to the shop?
Ifanye nini?
Uko sawa.
Okay.
Uko sawa.
Okay.
Amesema nini?
Ifanye nini?
Wait, what are you
How did you
saying?
translate? What have you said?
I don't know. He said Naiza something Duka na shop. The shop.
Say it in Kiswahili. Naweza enda na gari.
Naweza enda
na gari yako kwa
na gari yako
Kwa duka.
kwa duka.
Duka. You don't think my car? Why?
You're not taking the car
First
to the
of all,
shop. You're going
To the shop.
for
Yeah.
the car.
And then I'll say to you, which car?
Hey. Chomi.
Luo boy. Luo boy.
Momaira.
Luo boy.
You have to be specific.
Luo boy.
Okay.
Hey.
Which one of the cars are we talking about?
Hey.
Okay.
Just the small one.
Small one. It's downstairs,
It's
by the way.
downstairs.
By the way, you guys know this is my designated driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy. But I had to leave him on Saturday.
Why?
Because I had to take. I had gone to.
He was busy.
Okay.
He's
He was
always busy.
busy.
Aye. He's
was
always
busy.
busy.
These guys left me. I'm going to the parking. I'm like, hey,
He was busy.
my lord,
His hands were full.
my God.
You know.
But anyway, when I was in primary, I used to play such a silly game. And I'm sorry, we are finishing. We used to play.
Where? You know how
your lunch. I'm saying we used to play a very silly game where ukipatikana ukicheza hiyo game, you are in trouble. You tell people to translate Mama Mbali Gari in English.
Mama
Mbali Gari in English.
I have zero idea.
What's Mama in Kiswahili?
Mama is not mom.
Oh, no, I mean, what is Mama in English?
Mama?
Yeah.
Like mom?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But there's mother, there's father.
There's mother, father, huh?
Mama Mbali. Mbali is in
Forward is mama.
Far.
Far, yeah, mbali. Tuko mbali, yeah. Far, yeah.
What's car? What's Gari?
Car. Okay.
So say it in English.
Mama?
Say it in English.
No, English. Mother. Mbali is far. Mother, far, car. Oh! Well done.
But anyway, thank you so much, G-Money, for coming.
No worries, man. It's been fun.
Thank you, my host. And of course, thank you for also giving us an opportunity to work with you guys. The best time, I feel like this is actually a good time for us to actually work with you. So bless.
Bless, man.
Yes.
The intentions are pure.
Yeah, they are pure.
Tell him again. Pure from the start.
So, thank you for coming. Late call, of course.
No worries.
Aja, he needs to wind up.
With? Yeah, but I feel like you'll have to suffer. If English was banned actually in Kenya, hey, bro,
I'd get by.
language.
I'd get by. In fact, one of the things, like I said, I gave you guys the exclusive that I'm leaving radio. One of the things that I actually want to do when I have the free time, because one of the things I'm not going to do is just to go back to work. I think that the blessing is that, I can take some time to just be, and I want to see more of Kenya. I want to spend more time actually learning to be fluent. I saw this white guy the other day on TikTok, and the guy is just spitting on Swahili. I was like, bastard.
Not in this
That could have been me. But I'm playing. So I wanna definitely, by the time I come back on this podcast, man, I'll be spit on. Swahili.
Moving forward, I think
Luo.
Have hope.
Not Luo.
The only thing I know in Luo is Gongo Gitako or something like that. Is that alcohol and women?
Irionade.
Gongo Gitako. And Idimaber. Idinadi. And Ero Kamano.
And Abrochwadi.
Yeah, all of that.
Wind up with anything.
Erokamano. No. Thanks for the opportunity to be on the podcast. You guys are doing amazing. Don't be discouraged. Numbers go up, numbers go down, but I'm seeing some of your episodes getting some really nice numbers. And I think you just have to keep at it. And it just takes one moment that goes viral and everything blows up and it goes huge. But the content is amazing. I think for the audience that you serve, the conversations you're having are very, very important. And they're not conversations that anybody can have. And I love the maturity that you bring to your perspectives and the fact that you're not scared to be an outlier in terms of how you express yourself. So never lose that. And you're doing a great job, and I look forward to just all of the content and the wonderful stuff that you guys are going to create in the future.
Thank you.
And all the
Thank
best.
you very much.
So episode 11 of the Banter Box special, you can follow us on IG. Camera 9, 10, 11, 15,
12,
21.
7.
Yeah.
Camera 21. Okay, so follow us on IG, Banter Box, TikTok, Banter Box. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Good Company channel where our videos are always uploaded. Also, be sure to download the Good Company app. You get our audios and so many podcasts as well on the same platform. So thank you guys. This is episode 11 of the Banter Box special. So this is the
Banter Box.
No, you have to shout. You don't have to.
Oh, sorry.
Talk. Yeah, so this is the
Banter Box. Naitwa Jimani.